So Indy, Kansas City. I want to say this first. I don't get the clock thing. So 17-13, a minute 55 to go, right? You're the Chiefs. The Colts have the ball in plus territory. You get a big Taylor run on 1st and 20 at 1:55. That's when that play starts. Okay? The next play you run, Pierce, who had a big day, and we'll talk about all that in a second, for the Colts, catches the ball, comes down inbounds. You can call a timeout at 1:05 here. You got 3 timeouts, right? This team might go in and score. They might not, but if they do, you want some time, right?
Yep.
So Andy's just letting the clock run, and the next play that snapped after that Pierce reception on first down, I believe it was, is all the way down at 24 seconds. So from 1:05 to 24, you have an opportunity to call timeouts. So you give Patrick Mahomes the ball back with 24 seconds, and you end up rushing and throwing a pick to my guy Rodney McLeod, who had a big day, right?
And it's something they practice even with, we practice on Friday. Okay, there's 20 seconds left. We're at the minus 30. We need a field goal to win. Or one situation will be we need a touchdown to win.
Right.
38 seconds left. Right. No timeouts.
Right.
Whatever situation Pat's in, whatever situation Coach Reed and the offense finds themselves in, they're confident in it. They're confident in wherever they're at. Now, obviously, the way you laid it out right there is I would love that.
Yeah.
And so would Pat. And so would the receivers. And so would the line. But that's not the hand they were dealt. And obviously, the beginning of
they dealt themselves that hand.
Yeah, well, you're right. And they dealt themselves that hand in the first possession of the game.
Yeah.
Defensively. They go 3 and out against the Colts. I turned to the guy I'm watching the first quarter with. I said, this is going to be a long game for Indy.
Yeah.
The punt happens, muffed punt.
Vegas always knows.
So you mentioned it. First possession, you've got Sky Moore, and Patrick would tell you he wants this throwback. He overthrows him. And remember a few weeks ago, you play a tough game on the road that you know could be a slugfest, or you could pick the tempo up. And a lot of times in offense, if they get that big play on the first possession or a 60-yard touchdown, you feel like you're in rhythm. You're playing with a little bit of house money. It's like a rusher getting a sack.
It's like you got off the bus hot.
Yeah. Well, when fucking Christian Watson dropped that ball for Aaron Rodgers, that changed the entire tone of that game. And I'm not saying they would have beat the Vikings down there, but that was the start that they needed to get off to on the road that they didn't. You only get a couple of those plays a game. You always say that, like, when offensive coordinators are up there scheming things up, they're like, we got to hit this play.
They call them shot plays, and they call them, opportunity plays.
Yeah.
But more often than not, they call them shot plays. And
especially on the road early.
They have them dialed up in what we call the first 15. And for those of you at home who don't know what the first 15 is, every Saturday night when we're at the hotel, we're not just, dicking around. We're in there in meeting rooms. And so the head coach is presenting to his offense the best laid plans in his mind for the first 15 plays of the game. And oftentimes there's a handful of runs that they can choose from. There's a handful of play actions. There's a handful of rollouts. And then you get your 2 or 3 shot plays. And the shot plays, they have 3 of them for a reason, because each situation calls for a different shot. And when you have guys like the Chiefs do, you need to be able to capitalize on your shots.
You have a guy like the Chiefs do in Patrick Mahomes.
Well, Kelsey too. He showed up hot.
No, you're
Travis Kelsey showed up hot.
Yeah, well, the bottom line is you got to hit that.
Yeah.
And he knows that. You got to hit that. If you hit that, and they would tell you it's a totally different game. Special teams were terrible. 14 points on special teams.
Oh,
I know it doesn't just, some people are like, well, do your math again. But no, you have the muff. Okay, Colts are weaponizing the sun.
I don't want to tell another man what to do with his roof. And I want roofs to be open, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But those shadows were intense.
Jim knows that, dude. Irsay's like an evil villain in an X-Men movie, bro. Like, he's like, I'm going to open the roof.
Roof and window open.
And it worked. It fucking worked. For all that quirky shit he does, I know that had Jim Irsay written all over it, and it worked, bro.
I feel like they oriented that bad boy of a stadium incorrectly.
So you have the muff, sun.
And then you have the not fielding of the punt.
So that's a big one. It's
is that bad luck, or is it a bad decision?
Well, I got to know where their ledge is. On special teams, they always talk about a ledge.
Yeah.
Like, where's the ledge? At what point do we no longer field this punt? And at what point do we absolutely have to catch this punt?
That was over the ledge, I would say.
So the ball ends up on the 1. So that's not points, but, that's big. Missed extra point leads to having to go for 2. So, like, you got 1 point there, and then you go for 2, you get it. But even taking the risk to go for 2 sucks. You miss the field goal. You fake a field goal up 17-13
Tommy
because
Townsend.
you have no confidence in Amendola. And then you, even to cap it off, you have a bad return, on the 18-yard line with 24 seconds to go. Like, so you take the kick out, to end the game. You run seconds off the clock. Like, all these little mistakes, I'm sure I'm forgetting some, just add up to a really bad game on special teams.
Dave Tobe, legendary special teams coach.
Yeah.
He was in Chicago with Hester and those units that would be 10 guys out front blocking for Devin Hester.
Hester.
I don't know why this Harrison Butker injury feels like it was the keystone in a house of cards for the special teams unit, but it seems as if the attention to detail's not there. The moment might have been too big for Sky Moore, whatever it was, and I don't think that's it. I have a lot of faith in Sky Moore, but you know how it goes on teams. Sometimes one thing happens, creates a dozen issues.
That's what I'm saying. You miss that ball. You miss the 3rd and 7. You muff the punt. Like, these are one-play things, but they're things that lead to a totally different ball game. 60 minutes of different football.
I'm not panicking.
Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.